Hello, everybody. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. It is Tuesday. The weather is grim up here in Lancashire, but the transfer rumours do not stop. Hope all is well, and everyone is doing very, very well. We shall have a look at some players that have come to our attention over the last 24 hours. I'm going to start off with this man. I'm in Burnley. So I'm going to talk about a man who played for Burnley last year. Taylor Harwood-Bellis, 15 million Manchester City player. Do not know much about this man. I'm not going to lie. I'll be blagging it if I said I knew loads and loads about this man. But I know he's the captain of the under-21s, I think he is, for England. He's highly rated at Manchester City, but is he going to really get an opportunity at Manchester City when they're going to go out and spending millions upon millions? No. And West Ham were linked with him yesterday. I'll make mine pretty short and sweet before I come to the comments. What do I know about this man? Nothing. Nothing at all. But if he has been sort of had a very, very good season at Burnley. One thing I will say, and he helped Burnley get promoted. Obviously, Vincent Kompany effect up there. So West Ham are looking at him for 15 million. Is it worth doing? Is he worth having? Maybe, but he's better than one of the players I'm going to mention today. But I don't know. I don't know with this kid. I really don't. Is he a sort of player that we can sort of buy and nurture over a period of time? Possibly. But do we need someone who's a bit more ready-made than him? Yeah. I'm unsure. I'm unsure on this one. I'm going to leave this one to the chat to decide if they think he's a very good player or not. For me, I'm very 50-50 on it. Like, I think 15 million is a good fee for him. I think it could eventually be a talent. But is he a sort of player that we can go bring into the side right now and do the job? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm unsure. I'm unsure on him. So I will leave that to you to decide. I am very well, mate. I'm very well, Rich. I just wonder why my name was in the title, but there you go. Anyway, I'll leave that to you to decide what you think on him. Moving on, though, to this man. James Ward-Prowse. Southampton want 35 million. West Ham offer 20 million. Over the last sort of 12 hours, I've been having a few debates on Twitter and social media. And someone was coming at me about him saying it's a good fee that West Ham have sort of put in for James Ward-Prowse, a £20 million bid. It's a £20 million bid, but he's lowballing it straight away, West Ham. Well, when someone, when a club wants 35 million and you're going in with 20 million, that is not a serious bid in my opinion. It just isn't. I look at that as a bit of a piss take, if I speak on this truth. If you really want James Ward-Prowse, I'm not a fan of him. I'm not going to lie. And I think James Ward-Prowse is a bit overhyped, yeah, to say the least. But if you're serious, you don't go in and put a £20 million bid in to just test the water when Southampton want 35 mil. You just don't do it. If you go in and put a £25 million bid in, then it's a serious bid. Yeah, but 15 million short of the asking price when West Ham, we all know West Ham going very, very low and then upset the seller isn't exactly the right move, in my opinion. I want West Ham to stay away from Ward-Prowse, if I'm honest. I think he's massively overhyped. He's 28, 29. Not for me. Not for me. Where's the value there? Do you know what I mean? Like, you go and bring him in. He's good at set pieces and everything, but we need a proper midfielder. And he isn't, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? He really isn't. I just think he's massively overhyped. I will say that. Let's get to your comments and see what you've got to say. So Daddy's in the house all the way from the US of A. Hope you're well, so Daddy. Typical one from us. Same old, when it goes somewhere onto the pool, so we tried. Yeah. That's all I keep hearing. All we hear is West Ham interested, are in talks. Same old again, mate. I've got not going to lie. Handy Rice replacement James Ward-Prowse, no thanks. Poker Mush's in the house. Hope you're well, Poker. That is it on that. Like the guy said earlier, James Ward-Prowse, double-barreled name, don't trust. Yeah, I totally agree. For me, and I just sort of debate, and people said about business aspect of this, for me, this is not a good business move. Like, I want someone who's a bit younger. And if you're going to pay between 20 to 35 million pound there for a player, go and get Onana. Make a statement signing. Onana comes in and blows that midfield apart for us, big time. Yeah, and James Ward-Prowse doesn't. What I can't understand is, and this is the anger that I have with West Ham at present, is where is the plan for the Declan Rice sale, and who is the replacement? It feels like to me is a scattergun approach, just to go out and just chuck out names everywhere and see who we fucking fire at. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not good. It's not good. And this man is not the man for West Ham, in my opinion. I look at him, I think you take the set pieces away, he's a bang average midfielder. Bang average. Do you know what I'm saying? And we need a bit more than bang average. If we're going to replace Declan Rice, we need someone of quality who has got potential, like top quality. This man hasn't, in my opinion. You know, I don't think he ever will have. So I will move on from him. But we go to this man, Luiz Felipe, right? Age 26, fee 20 million. Real Betis player, former Lazio player, loves to be sent off, loves a booking. Do not understand this one. This is one transfer that me and WestHamOnline have basically turned around and said, we have got no idea why this geezer's coming in. Yeah. And this is the anger that I heard from Mitch the other day, yeah, which I make Mitch 100% right. Why can we go and drop 20 million on this man, but we can't go and pay the money out for Harvey Barnes or go and put a bid in for Harvey Barnes? Why have we got to wait for the sale of Declan Rice when we need a left-sided player? Harvey Barnes is there waiting to be snapped up, but West Ham want to go out and pay £20 million out for a player, this man. It just makes no sense to me. Right? It just makes no sense at all. For me, this geezer, I've done a little bit of like watching him on clips and things like that. I'm not convinced at all. In the air, he's poor. Any balls come in, he's poor. Tackling's okay, but you know what? On the ground, he's all right, but he's just all right. I'm not convinced of this signing at all. I don't understand this one. This feels like a Sully special, this one. It feels like he's been offered to West Ham. And it wouldn't surprise me if, obviously, Pellegrini's in charge of Real Betis. It would surprise me if Pellegrini's just trying to shaft him and send him over to us. Not convinced. 20 million is too much. I'd rather go for the young Manchester City defender that I mentioned previous. I think if you go for him at 15 million, he's had a year in the Championship. You can bring him in, you can nurture him, you can do all that stuff. This man, he's 26, I think he is, like as it says there. I'm not on it. I'm just not on it. I think 20 million is too much for a player who's unproven. It really is. Unless you're going to go out and get another player like Jonathan Tah, for instance, who I look at and I think, why are West Ham not activating that release clause for him, which is like 15, 17 million? This one just makes no sense to me. And it came out the other day, whether or not it will happen. It feels like it's going to happen. It seems like it's going to happen. If it does happen, I just don't get it. I just don't get the signing. And if this does happen, then questions need to be asked of what the fuck is going on in regards to players that we do need, i.e. a central midfielders, i.e. a left-sided winger. Do you know what I mean? Listen, I back Benny up. If Harvey Barnes becomes available, you fucking go after Barnes urgently. Yeah, you put the bid in, you get the man out of Leicester as fast as anything before other teams sniff around. I don't understand it in regards of why we're sitting there going for a centre-half who will be third choice. And I'm not saying we don't need a centre-half. We do, before I come to your comments. But why are we stalling on signings that we desperately do need? Yeah. Do we need a covering centre-half? Yes. Is it urgent? No. It's not urgent because we've got enough covered there who can sort of, got a few utility players who can go into that role. But dropping 20 million on a defender that I'm not on the vibe with, and WestHamOnline definitely is not on the vibe with, says it all to me. It really does. Right, let's get into your comments to see what you've got to say about the players that I've mentioned. Having Moyes as manager doesn't make us attractive enough with his style of football. I agree, Peter. That's the worry I have. I am majorly concerned about this year at the minute. I really am. And it ain't me being, oh, you're like fucking negative or anything like that. I'm not being negative. I'm being real. I am nervous until West Ham start dropping bodies into this club. Yeah, then I will be I'll be a bit more better. At the minute, I'm fucking worried, mate. I'm worried. They've all gone to Australia, yeah. I see some of the youth players yesterday. That's all well and good, but to go and drop youth players into this West Ham side right now is brave, to say the least. Yeah, they need to go out on loan some of these players to like championship clubs and learn their trade. I think chucking them in at West Ham, they could either become excellent or it could destroy them completely, in my opinion. So we've got a bit of a crossroads with that. I will say that. He's 10 times better than Souček, but it doesn't stop Moyes playing him day in, day out. Ward-Prowse is perfect for 25 million. It's worth it if we can push in Europe. Yeah, I know. We need to fill a number of positions with a slim budget. This is why we are trying to sign some 20 million players. Barnes will be 35 plus. Yeah, but I don't understand that, Scarborough. Yeah, because you're saying about like a small, slim budget. Why do West Ham have a slim budget? Why? Yeah, it ain't because of the sale last season. I understand the FFP, but if you're going for two players now, Max Aarons was mentioned the other week. Yeah, that's gone dead. You've got these defenders that I mentioned today. They will probably go dead. It just feels like to me West Ham just don't know. Like there's no plan. Now we discussed that the other day on here, yeah, and St. Alfie said WestHamOnline, and for anyone who knows him, he brought up something brilliant. Yeah, he said, why is it that there's four people got to like decide what happens with West Ham United? Like, why? Yeah, you got the manager, you got Noble, you got Tim now, the new technical director, and obviously you got Sullivan. Yeah, so it just feels like if they're all pulling in all different directions, then West Ham never going to like settle for anything. So I am concerned about it. I think Barnes. I think you'd be a mug just to sit back and allow someone just to come in and take Barnes. Yeah, whether or not it's a smoke screen, like Taylor said. Yeah, journalist Taylor turned around and said that is it a smoke screen for Newcastle to go after? I think it's Diaby and Leverkusen, maybe, but it's still not good for West Ham. I will say that. The biggest mistake we are making is having all our focus on centre of midfield. We're not. The fullback areas are more important. Improve the fullback areas, and the CMs naturally will improve. I agree. Totally agree. We let the left back go to Lazio. I think it was from AZ Alkmaar the other day, the Hungarian. I see that go. I see him go out the door for them. I was gutted there. I think it was only like, yeah, again, it was only like 15, 18 million, which is peanuts in today's market. I've always said that West Ham need two sort of rapid left back and right back players. Yeah, I don't think we've got that at all at the minute, and that's the concern. I am worried about the CDM position because knowing West Ham, they will try and cut corners. Do you know what I'm saying? And the longer the window goes on, and the more they get sort of rattled, West Ham, yeah. And I'm seeing other teams doing their business, yeah, and I'm seeing us doing nothing. And this feels like Leicester last season, yeah. We're waiting and waiting and waiting, and Leicester last season went out and signed, I think it was like two players, and they thought they had enough, and they ended up going down. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying West Ham are going to go down. Don't get me wrong, but what I am concerned about is you're losing your best player, and they've just all gone to Australia with no one. Like they're going with youth players. The fear I have is, are they going to try and bed in youth players into this side? Now, listen, I'm all for bringing the youth in. Yeah, I am one of them people that say, you know what, if they're good enough, get them in the side. But there comes a stage where you're going to need some experience in there and all. And if West Ham let the youth loose, it doesn't work out. I just hope the fans don't start turning on the youth and saying, well, like, what's going on? Like, they're not ready and things like that. Personally, I would have liked to have seen these lads go out on loan to different clubs, championship level, even top championship level, and see if they can do it in the championship. If they can do it in the championship, they can do it in the Prem. And that's the best way of summing it up with some of these youngsters at West Ham. Oh dear, let's have a look. What else we got here? If you don't like James Ward-Prowse because of his age, we can mention half of our team, mate. We can do players who know the league better. Club. I think Ward-Prowse can do a lot better. I think thing is, Barry, yeah, with James Ward-Prowse, I just think he's massively overhyped and overrated. I think he's a good set piece taker. Don't get me wrong; he's one of the best in the Premier League. But people will complain about Souček for not doing enough and runs around a lot. If you take the set pieces away from James Ward-Prowse, what does he do? really. Yeah, he's not going to win the ball back in the middle of the park. He's not going to dominate midfield. He's not going to do anything of that. He's good at set pieces and corners and things like that. But that's all he can do, really. And I just think West Ham need more than that. West Ham need runners, right? That's one thing with this kid. He's not really a runner. Southampton was playing him as like a 10 at one stage. He's not a 10. I know that. So I'm not convinced on it, mate. Big up, James. That's from Taylor, the journo. Any information, go and follow him on Twitter. I'm guessing FFP will play a big part. We still owe money from a loan from previous transfers. This will all be taken into account when it comes to the budget. So the thing is, if West Ham were going out and looking at a couple of loan signings, then it wouldn't surprise me, right? It really wouldn't, right? But I don't know why, but I just feel West Ham are going to try and cut corners on this one. I just don't know. Now, the other week, I was praising Sullivan up, and this coming from me, I fucking despise Sullivan, I was praising him up for the how he sort of took apart Arsenal in that deal, for the benefit of West Ham. We have to start seeing that money being pumped back into the side. Do you know what I'm saying? If this money is not pumped back into the side, and we definitely need a statement signing of some note, I think you're asking a lot to sort of go around it with players who are pretty bang average, in my opinion. James Ward-Prowse just doesn't do it for me. If you want to go and get a player, go and get a Nana out of Everton, right? Go and sign him up, get him to West Ham. It should have been done last year. I think it's his sister was his agent. Fuck her off. Get Onana in, and just deal with him and say, right, this is what we can offer you, and you can be the main man. Because I do think he's a talent. There's a lot of players in France that West Ham could go after, right, for cheap. And I am a bit concerned that it just seems like it's a few weeks into the window. Don't get me wrong, the Declan Rice deal is dragging. But we need to start doing something, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? Because before you know where we are, we're going to come to the end of July. And the season will only be 2 weeks away. And one thing I want West Ham to be this season is ready for the start of the season. Last season, Aguerd got injured, which we was unlucky about. I will say that was very, very unlucky. But at the start of the season, we were all over the place. Like defensively, we weren't ready defensively, if I'm being honest. When you're starting with Ben Johnson and Zuma at the back, and I know you lose Aguerd, but Bonner was still not match fit and not match sharp at that stage last season. I want West Ham to be ready, and you're going to have to be even more ready now, even though we're going to lose Deck. So it's a major for me. It really is. Australia, was sort of ages ago. West Ham sure didn't think the Rice deal will drag on like this. It has. I agree. Name one person in our team that's as good at free kicks and penalties than James Ward-Prowse. Well, Ben Rummers doesn't miss a penalty, Barry. So I'll say Ben Rummer for penalties, 100%. Free kicks it's a different matter. But you've got to have a bit more than just that, though, ain't you? That's the one thing I will say. You've got to have a bit more than just free kicks and all that. Because then people, and this is the argument Alfie gives me all the time. All Ben Rummer does is score penalties and he don't really score many from open play. Now, if James Ward-Prowse comes in and doesn't really do anything in midfield but scores free kicks, then everyone, there's two ways of looking at it. You can either look at it from, does it benefit the team or does it benefit himself? Now, I'm just not convinced on him. I really am not. No, just can't have him. I just can't have it. I see no point in forking out 25 mil for James Ward-Prowse when you can add a ton or onto and go for a Nana for about 35, 40, even if that is 1/3 of the Rice money. I just think what I don't really understand is what is the plan with West Ham. Now, if you know you're selling Declan Rice, your best player, and you know this team's coming in, surely you'd have players lined up. Now, I've seen someone from was it Frankfurt? Is it Sal or Sol or whatever his name is? He was a good player, but he's not a Declan Rice. And I think what it is, I think maybe this is me, thinking like this, is whoever we get is never going to be like Deck. So we're going to have to go down. And I've got to accept that. Is James Ward-Prowse the man really that you really want to come in and galvanise the team? Not for me. He didn't galvanise Southampton, and a lot of Southampton fans have turned around and said that he's a bit overhyped, and that's coming from them. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm not really convinced on him. I am a bit. When it comes to midfield, I am nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm very, very nervous on the matter. So, you know, it is one of them on that. Let's have a look. If anyone wants to come in, I will bring people in. I will chuck the link in the chat. Hold on. Let me have a look. Where are we? I'll do that. So, yeah. Well, we use Suchet as a fake box to box, and it's a changeable pass, but that. No chance of missing. God, there's every chance of him missing, mate. Trust me. Sakari looks a positive, at least, solid body. The only thing I will say, which I do agree with Mitch, what Mitch said the other day, is that where is the line with him in regards of his injuries? Like, he hasn't been injured since 2020, I think Lucas said, yeah, which is it is a bit of a concern. But hold on, I'll be right back. Right, I'm back in the room. Back in the room. I do apologise. The curtain rail come down the other day, and maintenance geezers just come in at the wrong time. I was like, do you know what? I thought I'm going to do this video before they turn up. And I thought, fuck it, let's just get this video done. And then bang, bang, bang on the door, and there you go. Do you know what I'm saying? It can't be helped, people. Live television and all that. Right. Basically, where was I? We was talking about all different sorts of stuff. People were laughing about my situation in my room, which is fair enough. Do we have a deal fever with the curtain rail? Mate, the curtain rail, mate, is like, them curtains are fucking massive. Absolutely huge. Like, and earlier on, I went to open the window and just get ready for like the stream and all that. And I looked up and the thing was bowing. And I thought, if that comes down, that's going to smack me square on the boat, mate. And I thought, nah, I don't fancy getting that in the face. So I rung them up and they've just come and sorted it out. So like, our situation tonight is we've got a curtain rail with no curtains on. So that's all good. You know what I'm saying? That's all good. Right. I don't know where I'm at now. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's see what WH5 exclusive curtain rail deal is back on. Fixed agreement in place for the next 5 years. Here we go. Fucking hell, I'm so glad it got sorted. I must admit, I'm not even going to lie on the matter. Yeah, listen, for me, James Ward-Prowse isn't the man. If anyone wants to come on, I will chuck the link in the chat, as I do, and you can come on, have your say, talk about the curtain rail. I'm going to go for a little while longer because it's only 4:10. So, yeah, anyone wants to come on and have a chat, they can want to do so. What do you make of the Hammers Chat, Claret and Booze debate? What do I make of it? Well, for once, Damien, I'm not involved in anything, and that's how I like it. Yeah. When people say, like, when things happen on YouTube channels and all that, I try and keep the lads and myself out of the way of it. I will say that. Whatever's happening between them is up to them at the end of the day. It's nothing to do with me. It's when people come at me, that's when or any of the boys, that's when I sort of have to, like, we all have to stick together on it. That's what we do on it. That's one thing we 100% do. Alfie will drive me nuts and nuts and nuts and nuts. But one thing with Alf is I will back him up. If he's in the right, I'll back him all the way. If he's in the wrong, I'll tell him. So, you know. Your butler should have dealt with it. No, mate, I ain't got a fucking butler, mate. Even though I'm in I'm in the hotel where all the footballers stay when they arrive in Burnley. So, you know, yeah, it is. It's one of them ones, really. Do you get the cards thrown in with the rail? Yeah, I must admit, mate, my missus is going to go fucking mad though when she comes home. Even though this live has gone completely bad, right? I'll try to do it serious, but anyone who's watching this later, please do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. You know the drill. Even though it's gone bad, yeah, I don't know what my missus is going to say later when we ain't got no curtains, mate. She's going to have to sleep with, like, get some binoculars. At James, you've done good staying out of this. No reason for anyone in fighting in our fan base. Yeah, mate. Yeah, we'll say that. One thing I will say about the YouTube game is there is no how can I put this? There is no family when it comes to the YouTube game. I will say that, and this is coming from me. Yeah, everything I've done on E20, I've fucking worked hard to get where we got to. Like, I might only have 2,000, just over 2,000 subscribers, yeah, on this platform. But what I've done and what the boys have done and what the boys have brought to the sort of party is helping us go up the ladder. Do you know what I'm saying? And I ain't going to rest until I deem it's become a success on E20. That's one thing I will say. I've always said I will never be. I never want to be like everyone else. I want our thing to be rare. Do you know what I'm saying? And like our thing to be like, I would love to have all the channels on this platform and have a good debate, like a good podcast discussion. That would be my thing. But there's too many egos in this game. That's one thing I will say. I haven't got no fucking ego, mate. Do you know what I mean? I started this with fuck all. I've still got fuck all. And whatever I get will be shared out between me and the other lads. Like, I won't leave the other lads behind. I've always said that. I always said that. Now, if I make it up the ladder, they come up the ladder with me, and I'll be pushing them up first before. I think of them before me. I come second. Right, the other lads come first on this channel. Yeah, so that's Tom, Lucas, Mitch, and Alfie. Even though Alfie can be a nightmare, yeah, I want that kid to succeed because he does have. When he's on the ball with his stuff, he talks very well. Yeah, I will say that, and he has drove me mad. Yeah, when he acts like an idiot, he acts like a fucking idiot. I'm saying so. Yeah, you know, that's where I'm trying to get to anyway. Is Benny up for sale? Well, apparently so, isn't it? I mean, whatever you do, make of it. James, you're doing amazing, West Ham fans, and we appreciate it a lot. No, Barry, listen. At the end of the day, I want to use people. Like, we're all in this together, mate. I'm a West Ham fan, E13 to E20. That's my thing, yeah. And you're no different to me, mate. Listen, like you make it part of this channel. Like I just do this for other people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I open it up, and with me. I'm not very politically correct like other channels. Other channels can F and blind and go into rants and all that. When I go into a rant, I go into it with passion. Like I don't see any other channels fucking crying their eyes out when West Ham just won a trophy. Like I cried my fucking eyes out on this channel, yeah, because it meant the world to me, right? And I haven't got this thing with Moyes that I keep hearing, yeah. I can't judge Moyes until he starts fucking up again. Like, do you know what I mean? People want him to be thrown out the door straight away. Do you know what I mean? And I'm thinking, okay, fair enough, I agree, but you can't just literally throw him out the door with no backup plan. And I don't blame Moyes. I've always said this. I don't blame Moyes at all. I blame Sullivan. I always have done, and always will do, because Sullivan is the person who keeps him in a job at the end of the day. So you know, you've always been a solid channel the whole time I've seen you. I've always E20. No worries, mate. You know what I mean? What school did you go, James? Listener. I never went to school, mate. I was too busy working. Got some applause there. Fuck knows what that's about. But Hammer's chat, see Clapbirds as a threat. It's obvious to me. It's a storm in the teacup. Enough room for many channels. The problem is, for me, right, there is some. And I know this is going massively off topic, so I do apologise, yeah, because fucking day we've had on this stream, and I'm going for another hour, mate. Fuck it. If there's wins, anyone wants to join me, they're more than welcome. One thing I will say is I'd like to get every channel around the table and have a discussion about different things. The problem is everyone's got their own sort of agenda when it comes to West Ham. Yeah, certain channels do it for clout. I don't do it for no clout. That's the first thing. I do it because I love this club to death. I will die in claret and blue. Right, 100%, yeah, and I can say that quite openly, right? But I would love it. I'd love it if we got every person from every channel to come round, yeah, like a round table, yeah, and that would be quite a powerful moment, yeah, in sort of West Ham sort of YouTube. Do you know what I mean? That everyone could sort of come together and speak, and they won't do it because it doesn't fit them. Do you know what I'm saying? I've reached out to many people. There's some YouTube channels that I cannot stand. Some people I can't stand. And then there's some people that I think are absolutely spot on. And I can just see it in them that they love this club to death. And they don't do the YouTube going for a pound note. Do you know what I mean? And then some of them do. They look at it like a pound note. Like, I don't look at this as a pound note. Do I want it to be a success? Absolutely. Do you know what I'm saying? Because one thing that I try and do on this channel with the boys is try and be as open and honest as we can without getting fucking shut down. Yeah, and that's what it's about. Do you know what I mean? I can't be sitting there sort of like being like an echo chamber and agreeing with loads of people if I think it's wrong. Do you know what I mean? The Moyes situation for me, when people are criticising Moyes right now, is wrong. It's wrong on so many levels because basically you're prepared to chuck him out. I don't like him, but I've got to give him a chance to prove me wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? So chucking people out right now is just not the right move. But yeah, again, and I've always said this, and I will stand by this to the day I fucking go. This is not on Moyes. This is on Sullivan. Like the way it's been handled at West Ham and the way transfers have been handled and different things it hasn't been right, and it's because of the ownership. Do you know what I'm saying? Alfie and me have disagreed on this, but Alfie says he spent a lot of money, Sullivan, and he has spent a lot of money, but on shit players. Now, once his time comes to an end, yeah, then you might actually see West Ham going to their full potential. Like, you've only got to look last year, for instance, right, for how well supported he was all over Europe. Yeah, going to Prague just proved a lot to me. Just proved a lot to me as a supporter of this club for years. And I've seen West Ham in the dark days, mate, getting fucking splattered, like at Blackburn away and things like that, and never even looking like in fucking qualifying for Europe, let alone get to a semi-final of one competition and a final of another and winning it. Like, never seeing that. So when I look at us, we've got to appreciate what we've got, really. And the fans that went out to Prague, like the army of fans, and there was a fucking army of them, yeah? Like 40,000 fans over there, like, without a ticket. That's heavy duty. 150 to 200,000 people on the streets of East London, yeah, coming out. People coming down from Scotland, from fucking Wales, from Devon, all the way to East London for that parade, yeah? That's heavy duty, man. That's heavy duty. And the problem is, I don't think we've got the winning mentality as a fan base, because we just don't expect to win anything. And if we was to turn around and say, well, this ain't good enough, we must finish 10th in the league every year and we must compete, then, you know, it's heavy duty, mate. And I've always said this fan base is fucking phenomenal, because whatever West Ham turn up, whether they're playing the best football on the planet, yeah, for West Ham, or they're playing the worst, the fans would always be there. You never get let down by West Ham fans. Let's put it like that. Yeah, if West Ham are playing absolutely terrible, the fans will keep going every week, week in, week out, because we are loyal to the core, like, and fucking always have been, always will be. Eric John says, I've seen us win at Blackburn 5-1. I remember 7-1 a few years ago, a good few years ago, when two guys just run right over us. That still breaks me. Still breaks me. We need to buy winning players to see a winning team like Emerson. Cool, yeah. He's a lucky charm, or Emerson. A few more Emersons and we'll be laughing, gentlemen. I accept Moyes stays, but I don't think it will end well for him. I agree on that. I agree. But this is the problem that I have with people who are just basically saying, well, thanks for your time, Moyes, fuck off now. Yeah. Now, listen, on this channel, me and Alfie have gone backwards and forwards. Especially me and Alfie. Lucas and Mitch have sort of always been. Mitch has always been like, well, what else can you do? You can't really get rid of him now, yeah, to a point. But me and Alfie have always been backwards and forwards. Like I've always been Moyes out minute one, yeah. From Leicester last season at home, I went, no, that's enough. I can't have him at the club no more, yeah. Now I've got to look at this and I've got to go, right, he's just won us a trophy, yeah. A month ago, we are winners of the conference, yeah. And I see some of our own fans go, oh, yeah, but look, it's only, we was expected to win that. Fuck me, mate. Some of these fans have never seen us fucking win anything. I've never seen us win anything. I'm 36, right? So I think we need to appreciate what we have done over the last few years. I do think Moyes is under severe pressure this season, 100%. I think he's under more pressure than he's ever been, because once you get rid of Deck and you've got to bring in players, like, it's either going to go one or two ways. He's either going to like kick into gear, we're going to do well again, and they're going to offer him another like a 2-year deal or something, or he gets sacked by Christmas, and that's the facts. Like, it's either one of the two. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, I just feel that, and I'm saying what Gio said. Listen, I don't knock other channels. Yeah, some of them I don't like. Yeah, personally, I think some of them are very slippery and slimy characters. But I do respect Gio a hell of a lot. I always have done. Yeah, I remember when I first met Gio, me and him clashed big time. Yeah, and after that, we sort of got on very, very well. Yeah, and obviously, I know Charlie Walsh, and I know the Hammers chat lot. I've never had any dealings with Gonzo, which I don't know why, but I've just never had. But Charlie Walsh and Gio, I've always had a lot of time for. Yeah, and something that Gio said to me, and I always say this on these streams recently, is that this is fucking a major season because it's like restructuring of West Ham. Do you know what I mean? New players, new fucking technical director. We're losing our best player. Like, it's, you know, I just feel that I want to be proved wrong that this ain't going to be a season that I am going to end up regretting. That's the only thing I will say. Do you know what I'm saying? And the way it's carrying on at the minute, I'm a bit nervous, but we will deal with it as West Ham fans that we know how to. I feel we've seen the best West Ham are going to be over the last few years for the foreseeable future. I know all the stuff about building the team, moving on, but then I remember we're West Ham. I disagree on that comment, Taylor, yeah? Because that's where the mentality comes into play for me. Because West Ham should be thinking, right, let's go and win the Europa League. Someone said it to me the other week, right? I made them 100% right. I said, James, be honest, can you ever see West Ham finish in the top four? And I went, not a chance. Not with the owner we've got, with the resources that we've sort of mustered. Yeah, and other teams can blow us out the water with signings. Yeah. So I said, so why don't you target, remain safe in the Premier League? Yeah. That's the number one thing. So if you get to 40 points, yeah, you're safe, as good as, right? Then attack the Europa League with everything, because that's the only way West Ham are ever going to get into the Champions League. Now, let's be honest. If we would have strengthened 2 years ago and going into that sort of last 6 months of that season and going into the Europa League final 6 months, we could have won that. The draw was setting up perfect for us. Yeah, if we'd have got past Frankfurt, I do believe we would have beat Rangers in the final, 100%. I think we'd have had enough to get the job done there. So there's nothing to say that we can't go and do some damage in the Europa League. Like people say about Brighton are in there, Liverpool in there. Different, like it's like they could get knocked out or things could happen. If we target these competitions, and if West Ham, for argument's sake, finished 14th again and get to the final of the Europa League, I probably would accept that. Do you know what I'm saying? Because like we don't get to finals. Well, do you know what I'm saying? And we don't win many finals. And I think we've been spoiled to a point, yeah. But then also I do feel that this little run's going to come to an end. And I don't really want it to end, if I'm being honest. I've enjoyed West Ham all over Europe. I've enjoyed the fans fucking filling out places. Do you know what I mean? And I've seen the joy. That's one thing I will say. I've seen the joy on some of them fans' faces in Prague, in Ayia Napa, yeah, to name them two destinations, where even in Amsterdam, where they was all there and all the fans come together, right? And some of them fans, I would have probably thought, they've seen some shit over the years. Like, I mean, some really, really bad times. And I don't want this journey to end with West Ham, but I know it's going to end eventually because we just can't sustain it over the next 4, 5, 6 years. We can do it over 3, but not over 5 or 6. But, you know, we will see what happens. Let's have a look and see what else news is saying. 2, right, the Europa League, same again, lads. Let's win this thing. It is negative, but I do see us being a mid-table for the next few years. It's not how it should be, though, Taylor, I'm afraid. Like, I think when you're in sort of, I think when you're in European competition and you are competing, and let's be honest, are we the 8th best team in the league? Like, if you say the top 6 plus Newcastle, would you say we're the 8th best team in the league? Probably not at the minute, yeah. I don't think it would take a lot to get push us back up there. And what I don't like, and I do not like it at all, is we don't rate ourselves as a club. We say, "Oh, we're West Ham." Yeah, we don't do things like that, and that grains on me big time. Because I think if you used to change your mentality and think, well, you know what, look at the numbers we pull all over Europe. Brighton won't do that. Villa possibly could do that, but West Ham have done that quite a lot and done that in like literally having 40,000 fans in Prague with no ticket. That to me just says it all. Yeah, it speaks volumes. It really does. You're right, James. We're punching above our weight, and a lot of people just can't see it or refuse to see it. I think we're doing all right, but I think punching above our weight. I understand what you're saying. You are right, but I do look at it and I think we do deserve this this. Like we've gone through enough shit over the years. Like I think we do deserve this moment. But we are West Ham, James. Mentality doesn't matter. It's the reality of our club. The new stadium has given us a shot at the big time. Yeah, but if our mentality was to change, and our mentality was to say, you know what, we can't accept being in the relegation battle, yeah, which we shouldn't be. Let's be honest. There's no way that any West Ham fan should be accepting, oh, we're going to finish sort of fighting relegation every season, because that's the whole point of why we left Upton Park. Like we left Upton Park to not be that club that keeps bouncing from up and down. Don't get me wrong. I used to sort of rate Leicester's sort of project. Now Leicester's project's gone completely out the window. You've only got to look at them last season. They fell apart in the end. Yeah. But if you would have asked a Leicester fan over the last 10 years, they've had FA Cup, they've had Premier League, they've been relegated. Could they take being relegated for one season? I think they would. I think they really would. So I don't want them to be relegated. Like that's hard. That's been hard going. That has been hard going, seeing West Ham go down and then having to fight all the way to get back up. And obviously, the team's been ripped apart multiple times when they have gone down. But I just want us to be to progress. And I think the only way we can progress is by having European football. But there is a concern with this. It seems like we can't even attract people at West Ham in our best moment, because this is our best moment. Let's be real. Yeah. West Ham, Europa League semi-finalists, conference winners, Europa League. And it seems like we're struggling to sort of get people to come to the club. Now, whether that's on Moyes is another thing. That's a different discussion altogether. But, you know, it's a tricky one. It really is. It all depends on the window. If it was just a flash in the pan for us, don't get me wrong, being relegated battle, get it right, could be the platform to cement us 7th, 8th for a few years. We signed anyone yet? Happy Hammerette, welcome at 4:30. No, sadly not. We've had a curtain rail collapse in the hotel room that I've been in. We've had discussions, we've had talks, we've had elite analysts, we've had all sorts. You know what I mean? Agree, Tay is the most competitive league in the world. You can't compete consistently at the top without multi-billionaire owners or restaurant managers. We've got one of those. I do think it's down to Moyes. I do. Like, if someone said to me, would you get rid of Moyes today? I would. But I think some of the criticism that he does get is a bit over the top. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I done a debate on a channel about it was about a week before the final of the conference, and I basically turned around and said, any West Ham fan, their right mind would have took 14th to win this the conference at the start of the season. My prediction was to finish 12th and to get to the final of the conference. Yeah, to go and win the conference and finish 14th, I can accept a shit season. I really can, because I've seen enough shit seasons over the years. I can accept another one if we go and win something. I can't accept a shit season this season, though. That's one thing I can't, because there is no guarantees of, you know, winning the Europa League. I always believe West Ham could win the conference. I think they had enough firepower in there to get the job done. I just don't believe that we can do the Europa League. Like, I want us to, and I want us to fucking try our hardest. But the Europa League's going to be a different kettle of fish. Premier League is priority. I do agree. I do want to see progression in the Premier League. That's one thing I will say. Dan should be man of the match. The buck stops at Moyes, but the players were bad also last season. See, that's the thing, right? And I do agree with you on that, Michael. Yeah, I really, really do. Some of the sort of fans, turn around, sort of went straight at Moyes, but none of them really give any fucking criticism to some of the players. Like, I can sit there and openly say that the game, the Brighton player ratings. Now, if you're ever free, go and watch the Brighton player ratings that we've done, because the after-full player ratings of that game was absolutely fucking mental. Yeah, and I blamed all the players. Yeah, because listen, Moyes can only do so much and send them out on the pitch, but listen, it ain't Moyes' fault that fucking Ben Johnson can't defend. Do you know what I'm saying? Or he can't see danger. So I just feel there was a bit sort of everyone was putting everything on Moyes, and the players were getting a pass. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's either one or the other. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of Moyes. I think West Ham could do better. But it is what it is. Kane's in the house. I can see Kane trying to like start fights with Boreham Wood fans, which is very interesting. Yeah. Oh, what we got here? Everyone's talking rubbish. Let's go up to the top here. Let's have a look. If the job Moyes did was easy, as the fans made out, loads of our managers would have done what he had done. As our fans say, we are a big club. Clearly, something afoot. Well, we are a big club, like 100% we are. You've only got to look at it, yeah. But we don't act like a big club. That's the difference, yeah. We are a big club. Like secretly, West Ham are a very, very big club with rich history of players who have gone on to do absolute incredible things, yeah. But we don't. As a West Ham fan, and I've always been brought up, is you don't support West Ham for the trophies. And that was the old saying, right? You support West Ham for the love of the club. Now, if you love the claret and blue and you're born in the East End of London, like it's ingrained in you. You don't go and support someone else. Like you very rarely see a Manchester United fan in Canning Town or Custom House. It just doesn't happen. Do you know what I'm saying? If you're born in the East End of London and you've sort of made your sort of mark in the East End of London, you support West Ham United, and it is what it is. So we are a big club. I can't have it. I can't have people saying that we're not. I won't tolerate your slander. We hardly ever do our business early. People need to relax. Paqueta was a late one out of the blue. But Ben Dawson, the one thing I will say on that, yeah, is I understand what you're saying. We do react late. But when you're selling your best player, is it right to react late now? Do you know what I'm saying? That's the real question. Like, you know that deck is going. So where is like the players to come in to sort of, do it? That's the main question. I can understand if Declan Rice was still here. Yeah, I'll be like, cool, no worries, we can wait, we can see what happens. But when you know you're selling your best player, that other players are being snapped up, that is a concern to me. It really is. Because then we'll probably end up with fucking Oxlade changing in midfield or something. Really good stream. Thank you very much, mate. I agree. We need to get out of this. We are a working club. Yes, we're our ground was at Upton Park. We're a big club and need to act like one. I agree on that. I really, really do. And I strongly agree on that. And it proves it. It proves it. When 24 hours after winning a trophy, you see 200,000 fans on the streets of East London from Upton Park all the way to Stratford. That has got to tell you something. It has to. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Because if no other club can do that in that short space of time of West Ham's level. Do you know what I'm saying? Brighton don't do that. Do you know what I'm saying? Even Villa come out and have a party to qualify for the fucking thing. Well, we have a party in Prague and in East London. That's the difference. We have the second best home attendance in the Premier League, so the money should be there to improve. I agree with Mike on that. Your high expectations are a recipe for disaster, James. We can't live up to them. You'd be negative your entire life of expect us to compete like this. Well, no, not at all, elite. But it comes a time where when you've got to strive for something, elite. You've got to strive for goals in life that you want to do. And West Ham should be striving for it. West Ham should not be relegation candidates at all. Not now. Not in front of 65,000 every week in, week out. I can understand if we had to pay for our stadium, but our stadium's peanuts, and we're paying rent on that stadium for the next 100 years. So I don't agree with that at all. I think you can sit there and you can turn around and say, you know what, West Ham ain't this, West Ham ain't that, but the proof is in the pudding. When West Ham go anywhere on this planet, they send an army of fans with them, and it is what it is, and that's what they do. And I just think if our expectations matched the owner's expectations, and if we had a different owner, I do believe our expectations would go through the roof, because if Kadinsky took over and said, right, within 5 years or 10 years, we're going to try and compete for Champions League and things like that, yeah, I would believe him to a point. I don't believe Sullivan at all. I really don't. Because he's always got an agenda, that man. The reality is, James, if Moyes is as bad as you say he is, why is he the first manager to win a trophy in 43 years? I don't think that was because of the fans' expectations. I think he is a bad manager, Elite. I do. I'm sorry, but I do, mate. Dear, what we got here. Let's have a look. Me and Elite going at it. James, I completely agree with you. Thank you very much. You know what I mean? Eric John, I will pay you later. Fans ticket revenue is about 6% of the club revenue. It doesn't matter as much as the fans as it does. I agree with Elite on that. I don't agree with Elite on a lot of things, but I do agree with Elite on that topic of conversation there. When COVID happened and there was no fans coming into the sort of grounds and everything, it didn't really affect West Ham because the commercial money, like TV money, just out generates any fans going to the ground, really. So I agree with him on that. What is happening to Newman now? He's set up a scouting team in South America. Will that be at a loss? I don't know, mate. I think people knocked Newman very easy. And for me, he brought in some decent players. I think Aguerd was a decent player. I think Scamacca, and I don't like the 8 that Scamacca got yesterday, but I think Scamacca is a decent signing if we can get him going. Yeah, I think Newman gets easily shafted. Got to remember, it's the ownership inflation. All other clubs will step their owners up in line with us unless it's a Saudi. There is no escape to a point. How was a bad manager responsible for our trophy in 43 years? It was so bad he don't qualify for Europe with a team that almost got relegated before. It's a stupid statement, James. He's a bad manager, Lee. Even though you might not like to admit it, he's a bad manager, Moyes. And I can openly say that because I think some of the decisions that he makes are poor. I think his in-game management is poor. I think sometimes the players were bad, and I will say that. But then I also will say that sometimes Moyes is picking of players who haven't really been performing to a level, is also poor. Now Elite's taking it personally and calls me an idiot. You're an idiot, James. No, Elite. You will never outdo me in a debate, bruv. That's the thing. And you see that the other week, Elite, when you couldn't wind me up. So keep smiling, Elite. Love you. Newman is the Ariada of the backroom staff. He's not a backup. He's the Alfonso. I've got to be honest with you on that. Yeah. You're completely ignoring Moyes' success and painting a picture of him based on subbing off Ben Rama in the 75th minute. I never said Ben Rama. I never mentioned Ben Rama's name once, Elite. I turned around and said there have been players this season where he subbed off players like Gianluca Scamacca at Leeds away when we go 2-1 up, and he tries to please his favourites. But that's on Moyes. He gets another chance this season. Now, if Moyes didn't win the conference, would Moyes still be here? The answer to that is no. He would have been gone. Moyes obviously wins us the trophy, so he's got a pass this season, right, for last season. This season, he has to perform, because if he don't, he will be out the door by Christmas. And I don't think you can have 2 seasons of bad football in the Premier League and tolerate that for 2 seasons in a row. Yeah, if we're fighting relegation and we start off slow like we did last season, the fans will not. The conference final will be a distant memory. And what he done, and this is the argument that I've heard from people. And I said this to Alfie. People will say, "Well, look what he done last year. He just won us a trophy, first time in 43 years." That's all well and good, but that will soon go down the fucking toilet if we are struggling to win games. If we're struggling to win games, that will just go. That will bypass all that. And if we're fighting to stay in the league like we are this season, and this is the thing that I don't like, some people do love Moyes a bit too much and think more of Moyes than they do of West Ham. And sometimes you've got to look at the long-term plan of West Ham United Football Club. And the long-term plan is if Moyes was as good as everyone says he is and as powerful as everyone says he is, why has Sullivan not given him an extra year contract? He hasn't, because they do not trust him enough. Do you know what I'm saying? And they're going to see how he gets on this season. Now, if Moyes starts off very, very well, and West Ham are doing all right, and just for argument's sake, we're 10th in the league and we're pretty comfortable, we don't look like we're going to go down, and, you know, there's a possibility that we could do some damage in the Europa League, then Moyes will get offered an extension. I can guarantee it. If he starts off slow, he'd be gone. And that is my opinion on that. I can see that Elite's triggered, so I'll let Elite sit down on the train, wherever he is, and chill. So I send your CV to the club if you think you are better. Any CVs are welcome. You know what I mean? Let's have a look, see what Happy Hammeret's got to say. I'm going to go for another 15 minutes. Overly defensive, scared of the big six. Shite man management, stuck in his old boring ways, but also led us to the trophy. Now, I agree with some of them comments from Happy Hammeret. Hope she's doing well. Against the big six away from home, when you're setting up to basically defend for your lives and trying to win the game in 10 minutes, isn't really good. Do you know what I'm saying? If you add into that we can never beat Brentford or Brighton into that, basically that's 6 games away from home that we're never going to win, plus another 4 games where we just don't beat Brentford or Brighton. So that's 10 games already. If you sort of go by the statistics and stats of everything, that's 10 games that we're going to lose. That's not good. That's not good. So that's that on Moyes. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's have a look. Let's see what Taylor's got to say. The journo. I hate how people can say awful, terrible things to Moyes and just say, but he got us a trophy, like some minor thing. It's a lot of averages that are correct. I'll be over 70 when I see us win the next trophy. I agree, but you can't not say that there wasn't times last year that you was worried, because I was. It's okay looking at it in the past tense and going, fair enough, he's just won us a trophy, but he can't do the same thing that he done last season. He just can't. He cannot have a bad season and lose 20 Premier League games this season. He can't. Because how is that acceptable? Do you know what I'm saying? That's not acceptable. I'm sorry, it's just not. And if you think that's acceptable, then you care more about David Moyes than you do West Ham United Football Club. And it's as simple as that. I care about West Ham United Football Club. E20, yeah. West Ham United. E13 Upton Park. E20 Stratford. West Ham United Football Club. David Moyes has done a good job in sort of getting us to a level, but all good things do come to an end. And for me, he should go. He ain't going to go, so I'm going to give him benefit of the doubt from last season. And this season, he's got to try and prove to a lot of fans that he's up to the task. Now, whether or not he is another thing. And it's as simple as that. What we got here, let's have a look. Elite's is having a row with someone in the chat, but I'll let him carry on. I was never worried, and I'm not joking, but I understand why you and others were. That I do get. The problem is, Taylor, yeah, I was worried because I've seen it before, West Ham. Yeah, when stuff's going good, it goes amazing. When stuff goes bad, we can just fall apart, and we can fall apart. The problem is there is a bit of a divide with the West Ham fan base. Yeah, you've got a lot of the older generation fans who have seen this before, look at it and go, you know, it ain't good. On the other side of it, there's a lot of younger fans that sort of sit back and go, it doesn't matter because it's the best they've ever seen. So, you know, make of it what you make of it, Taylor. You know what I mean? I just disliked on the E20 Zones video for the first time ever. I can't believe you said Moyes is a bad manager without batting an eyelid. Elite, it's okay, mate. You're allowed to you're allowed to sort of have a discussion. There's no point ever having a debate with Elite because Elite gets triggered. You know what I mean? You can't trigger me. You know what I'm saying? I've seen enough shit that lasts me a lifetime. But Elite, that is your opinion, and I respect your opinion, Elite. The older generation fans should be in a care home, not analysing modern day football. See, yet again, that's disrespectful nature of people who have been going to the game for the last 45 to 50 years. I think. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I can respect Alfie at 19. Might not like his opinion. I can respect it. I've got to respect it because that's his opinion. But then I can also respect a man who's 65, 70 years old who's seen us go through a lot of shit. That's the difference. Do you know what I'm saying? So, get me a cab for Glenn. There's no discussion in the words bad manager. I don't respect your opinion. Fair enough. Do you worry that it seems like it doesn't seem like any long-term plans? Agree, Vulture, 100%. We just plod along by keeping all the old players, and then we find ourselves in a progress of having to rebuild the squad again. I agree. I really, really do. I think one thing with West Ham that I've always said is we're a sentimental club. We are. Look how hard some fans have took it on letting Declan Rice go. Now, I'm not happy with Declan Rice going, but I've accepted it now. It's gone. You know what I mean? I was sad for a bit, but we move on. Some fans are very, very bitter, and some fans don't ever want to sell players to benefit the side. Do you know what I mean? And players will stay here forever, basically. Do you know what I mean? Until they're in a fucking care home. But, you know, is what it is. James is just giving his opinion. It's okay. Eric, it's fine, mate. Me and Elite are buddies. Oh, Elite, what the fuck are you on about? Us old school fans. Oh, dear, mate. Should we be looking at giving captaincy to a player for the long term this season? Giving it to someone suited like Cressy, for example, for one season, or look to get a new captain like James Ward-Prowse? That's a major thing. That's a major issue that we got at West Ham is who is going to be the captain of the club? Like, first off, when I want a captain, I need someone who's going to inspire this team. Yeah. For moments last season, Declan Rice was a good captain, and then in moments that he wasn't experienced enough in big moments when West Ham were falling apart. Yeah. But when we had Dec as captain, you can look at it and you can go, he's the best player in the team. He leads by example. We need players whoever the captain is going to be, to lead by example. And that is a major thing. Moyes is never ever a bad manager. Yes, he is, West Ham. He has been a bad manager in moments, West Ham Online, just to clarify. I must go and make a Moyes rumour up, which will... I'm saying nothing. James, we need to have a Moyes debate on the channel as soon as possible. Well, I've chucked your link in, Elite, and you didn't want to come on, mate. You know what I mean? It's fine. Do you know what I mean? It's fine. He's on one today. The blokes are full. Elite, you've got to stop your personal digs, mate, because like we can all start giving personal digs. So, yeah. So we're backpedaling there, James. Not at all. You know what I mean? Elite's on one. Someone go and give him his fucking bipolar tablets, for fuck's sake. How much of the Rice money do you think we will spend in this transfer window? Well, I expect at least us to spend 100 million, at least. At the very least, West Ham have got to spend 100 million, right? If we don't spend 100 million, I don't see how we're going to get the players required this season. And I think we need 6. Some people think we need 2, which they're on severe drugs if they think we need 2. But we definitely need 6 players. So 100 million is a minimum for me. Let's have a look. Alfie's just got out of the at a job centre. I moved for Carey into central defensive midfield. He loves to tackle and mistakes that don't affect goals conceded as much. Yeah, I've heard that before. Some people like it, some people don't. I will say that. Do you know what I'm saying? Hi, James. I hope you're well. Do you think Sucha will have a better season now Rice has gone with a holding player? Some people very much think Souček should be gone. I'm of the nature that I think he should go. I think West Ham need a fresh midfield. People look at it and say we don't need runners in midfield. We can't have box-to-box midfielders. I think we need 2 box-to-box midfielders. I think we need some energy in midfield. Like, we need people who can sort of do the sort of hard graft and push us up the pitch. One thing West Ham lack, which we probably will all agree, is pace. We lack pace in certain areas of the pitch. And I think West Ham need to have some runners from midfield, some people who can sort of break up the play and carry us up the pitch. Deck used to do that in moments for West Ham. I will say that. Pick the ball up and carry it. I think we need 2 of them players. I will say that. That's a good point. He's played better without Rice. What else have we got here? Let's have a look. Let me just clarify this from an analyst or analyst. E20 making up fake rumours to escape a debate. Not at all. I can speak whenever I like, however I like, to whoever I like, elite, especially you, son. It's all been drama, and it started off with the curtain rail. Yeah, the curtain rail has gone down, mate. Do you know what I mean? Curtain rail was down, and the hotel is not happy. So, you know, it is what it is. Right. That is it, mate, I think. Is it? Is it just the Toffees or us that are yet to sign a player for the first time? Well, in there, I see a rumour that Ashley Young could be going there. Now, you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If they want to sign him. James would be too scared to debate me. He agrees with too many of my opinions. Not at all, Elite, mate. Not at all. I do like you, Elite. I think some of your opinions are a bit mad, but some of your opinions are valid. So I will give you that. But I'm not being funny. You asked for a debate the other week. I opened up the chat and I let you come on and have your say. So, yeah, if that's me running, like me, I wonder what I am like when I am running. So I'm too fat to run. Aguerd or Kehrer to replace Rice in midfield? Dan's maybe, but he needs to practice passing forward. Don't sack Moyes, make him director of the goalposts. Yeah. I think Flynn Downs will be gone, mate, if I'm honest. If I'm being truthfully honest, I think Flynn's shame, but I don't think Flynn's going to be here. And this is the thing. We've got no Lanzini now. He's gone. Rice is going to go. I think Downs will probably go. I heard someone say the other day about putting Pablo Fornals in midfield. And yeah, like that wouldn't be a bad shout. Do you know what I mean? Well, I don't know, Taylor. What you heard? Tell me. Arsenal fan in the house. You know what I mean? Yeah. Gets better. Elite striking option. Patrick Bamford, 29 to 30 years old from Leeds. Not for me. You get one player to sign this window and it gets rejected. One link player who signed is rejected. Yeah. The bottlers are in. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? It's going to be interesting to see how they do this season because, you know, we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, I've been going for an hour and 15 minutes. No, Elite, I am not scared of you whatsoever. Do I look scared this face? No. So, yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there, ladies and gentlemen. WestHamOnline doesn't appear all day, and he appears now. Do you know what I'm saying? Stop talking like me. You're from Benfleet, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You're as posh as fucking King Charles. You know what I mean? That's a posh geezer. Anyway, from me to you, have a good one, wherever you are on the planet. If you're Elite analyst, listen to Elite. He spits facts. You know what I mean? You've got to love Elite. Do you know what I mean? For the humour. But it is what it is. Do you know what I'm saying? Big up to Elite. Do you know what I'm saying? Big up to Elite analyst. Love you, Elite. Love you. And I will see you again soon. Take care of yourselves in the world. All the best. And keep the faith. Boys, sign some fucking players. You know what I mean? Or you're sacked. Peace.